Okay. Now do we have sound? Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? I think my volume was off. Okay. Now do we have sound? Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I was sitting here talking for like 5 minutes and my microphone was off. So let's start over. Let's start from the beginning. So we are here today. My name's Byrdie Larsen with Redbyrd Designs. I'm here today to do the 5 days of Christmas cards with you. We had this be a virtual paint party event that was a paid event. It didn't get as much traction as we liked, as we would have liked. And so we decided instead of just canceling that we would just go live for free and paint with you guys anyways, because well, we love to paint, and so here we are. So we are painting the Christmas cards. So today we're going to paint the snowman, and then we will paint the rest for the rest of the week. We'll go live every day at noon and paint one of the Christmas cards with you. If you're interested in joining us and you would like a supply list or the tracers, please message me and I would be happy to send those to you. What else did I say? Well, we were muted. So today I'm painting the snowman. I am painting it on a cardstock that I had cut down to 4.5 by 6. So that's the size that you need to paint on. You could definitely just paint on the note card too. If you had just a white note card, that would work. And let's see, do we have some auto zooming issues? Let's see. 1 second. Let's see if I can stop it from zooming. Okay, I think it's okay. Okay. So sorry about that. If you want the tracer, let me know. I'll send that to you. And then what I did mention before was I had gotten just these note cards and envelopes at Michael's in this large pack here, but you can get these kind of things anywhere at any craft store in whatever color that you want. And like I said, you could paint directly on these if you want. I decided to paint on the cardstock. It was a little bit easier for me. And then I just taped it with double-sided sticky tape. You could glue it down. You could use pop dots and attach it that way as well. Yes, the tracers are in the group, Stacy, for Redbyrd Retreat, ladies. If you're joining us and you're part of Redbyrd Retreat, you can find the tracers and supply lists in the group, the Christmas card group, which you are a part of, Stacy. I double-checked that. If you're not part of that group, please message me and I will get you that information. What else did I want to say? What else did I say before I realized I was muted? Oh, okay, so let's get started. Whoops. What I said about my brushes, I'm using just a medium flat, a medium round, a small round, and a liner brush today. The colors that I'm using are going to be white and black, and an orange for his nose, red for the bird, and a green for his scarf and hat. This is a Kelly green. You could also use a Christmas green, but I think I'm out on my Christmas green is typically what I... No, that's Holly Branch. Any green that you want will work. If you wanted a darker or a lighter green or a more olive green, you could actually choose any color you want. Okay. So I just cut out my tracer. Where is it? So we're going to put our tracer down on our cardstock. Actually, before I begin, I am going to tape off my edges. So if you noticed, my paint doesn't go all the way to the edge of the white. We do have this really nice white border, and to achieve that, we're going to use masking tape. You don't have to. Let's see, what card does not have the border? For instance, the gnome does not have a border. I just painted it straight off to the edge of the cardstock. So those are the differences there. However you want to do it, it does not matter. It's not going to affect your tracer or anything like that. So I've just got some masking tape here, and I'm just going to eyeball where I want, or how big I want my border to be. And I'll tape that down on all sides. Okay. Lined up. Alright, so now that I've got my border taped down, I can take my tracer and I'm going to make sure that it's centered where I want it to be. And I'm just going to grab a small piece of tape and I'm going to tape it down along the top here. Then I'm going to take graphite paper or carbon paper, and this comes in, you can get a big pack of it or little notebooks of it. But the key is you're going to have a dull side of the graphite paper and then a shiny side, and you want to make sure that that shiny side is down. Okay, and then we're going to just grab a pencil and lightly trace over the lines. And this is going to transfer our image onto our card. Okay, and then we can reveal that there is our image ready for us to go. Oh, I forgot one color in my color listing. We need the sky color. So we're going to use a cotton blue for the sky. Okay, guys. Let's get started painting. Let me get my palette over here. And for the background, I'm going to use two colors actually. I'm going to use the light blue or the blue cotton and a white. And because these paintings are so little, we do not need a lot of paint. Okay, then I'm going to use my large flat for this process. So we're going to start with our background, and then we will do the hat and the body and the scarf and so on and so forth. So for the background, I want to use a blending technique to create a nice soft texture, kind of with clouds in it. I don't want to just use a solid blue. Where's my... I'm losing it, you guys. There it is. So for this, you can kind of see that I have some darker blue in there, some lighter blue. And so what we're going to do is we're going to blend the white and the blue, but we don't want to over blend and create just a solid color. We're going to create the soft, not cotton, but cloudy type texture for our sky back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my brush up with a bunch of white. Then I'm going to dip it in that blue. So I have a mixture in my brush of white and blue. And then I'm going to come out here onto my paper and just randomly put my brush strokes in, crisscross. I'll work my way around the hat a little bit, but I don't want to over blend because I want to see that variation in color. So some of it is going to blend, and then some of it will see more white in the strokes, and some of it will see more blue in the strokes. So we'll work around the little bird here. Don't worry if you accidentally, your brush stroke goes inside the lines, because the next color will cover it up. And I am just brushing right over the arm, because I can still see a little hint of that arm tracing there. Okay. So like I said, we want to just have some fun brush strokes. We don't want it to be over blended and become just a light blue. We want to see some dark areas and some light areas. So you can see I have some dark areas here around his face, some dark areas up here, and then some light areas as well that might be faded clouds in the background. And that's it for our background, guys. Okay, so the next step, we're going to just work our way down this little painting here. I'm going to grab some black, and we will get his hat colored in, painted in. And I forgot to put the line in for his band. So I'm just going to grab my pencil and put a line across for the band on the top there. I'm going to use my medium brush for this, and this is just going to be a solid black. If the smaller round works a little bit better for you, for better control, feel free to use that. All my brushes that I talk about are really just suggestions. You want to use the brush that you're most comfortable with. A lot of people like using more of a rounded filbert brush or a flat brush for some of this, straight work where we're trying to get a straight line. So whatever you're most comfortable using. If you're new to painting, go ahead and follow my lead in using the brushes that I'm using. But again, if I'm using a brush that's too big for you to control those brush strokes, go ahead and drop down to a smaller brush or a smaller size. Okay. All right. So let's work on the face. We could really just leave the face as is. If your paper's white, you really don't necessarily need to paint his face because snowmen are white. But I'm going to put, I am going to paint it white, and then I'm going to put a little bit of some shadow down here where his face is meeting the scarf, and then a little bit of shadow under his hat. And so that's going to be just a really light gray. So my first step is going to be painting the face. And white is very translucent, so we do still see those eyes and the nose, so I'm painting just right over those elements. And then at this point, if your sky got a little bit crazy, you can clean up the roundness of his face here. And just a little bit of blue kind of poking into that area, so cleaning that up there. So now that we've got a coat of white paint here, we can come back with just a very, very small amount of black and create a shadow. So I've still got white on my brush. I'm going to add just a little bit more, and I'm just going to pick up just the tiniest bit of black. You can't even see it. And then I'm going to just create this really light colored gray. And I want to make sure that it's not too dark. And black goes a really, really long way. There we go. So we've created this really light colored gray here, and I'm just going to add it to the area under the hat where we have a shadow, and then right above the scarf. And go ahead and then just add a little bit of white and kind of blend that into the face. Okay, and then we also have this small little section right under the scarf here. And because it's under the scarf right there, I am going to just use this gray color, because that would be in the shadow of the scarf. And if you're not using the border technique, you would have a little bit more of that body right there, but still just color that in with that, or paint that in with the gray. Okay. Just making sure everything looks okay, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to do the nose. Let's grab a little bit of orange, or you can use a mix of yellow and red. Create your own orange. And we'll get the first coat down on our nose. So orange is very translucent, whether you get it out of the bottle or you're mixing your own. It's going to be a color that is going to require a couple coats. And with paint, you always want to make sure that you're just creating a nice light coat, and then come back in for that second coat to darken it up. Trying to lay too thick of a coat of paint down will cause your painting, one, to not dry as fast, and then two, if you're going to try and maybe do something on top of that, your top part of that thick coat might be dry, but as you brush it, it's going to activate or pull it away, because the bottom part of that paint isn't all the way dry. Okay, so let's get some of the red. And I'm going to switch to a smaller round to paint the bird. And I am just painting the entire bird minus the beak. And I should have painted the beak while I had orange on my brush. Dang it. I forgot about that little bit there. And then I'll come back in and fill in a little section around his beak with black for that cardinal look. And this brush is not cooperating with me. I need to get a different one. Find something else here. Okay, so I'm going to wash my brush real quick, and I'm going to go back to that orange and get that little bit of that beak filled in with the orange. Okay. So let's work on his hat band and his scarf. Now you could decorate your scarf anyway and your hat band any way that you want. I did stripes, but you could do polka dots, you could leave it solid, whatever design that you would like. So I'm going to start with the hat band, and I'm just going to create some stripes across the top. I'm going to start with green, and I'm not going to measure anything. I like to see just some variations in my stripes. I don't want it to look too manufactured, I guess. Having some of that mistaken shape sizes kind of adds to the charm of these cards. Okay, so I've got 2 stripes with the green, and then I'll do 2 stripes in red on the band there. So then let's work on the scarf here. So when a scarf is around someone's neck, you really don't even know where one stripe begins and where one ends. You've got bunched up scarf, and so don't get too hung up on creating those perfect stripes. So for in this area here, I'm going to have a red stripe, then a green, and then a red. So I'm going to just kind of come at an arc as well, because I want it to look like it's coming around his neck and is bunched up together there. So it's not even a straight line, it's got just a little bit of an arc in it. Okay, so then there's going to be red, here's red, and then this piece is coming up over the scarf, so it's tied, right? And so we'll start with the red at the top, and then I'm going to come in with the green. Now because it's coming up over, we're going to have just a little bit of an arc in this as well, just to give it that illusion that it's puffed up and rounded right there. Okay, and then I skip a little section and I put another stripe. Okay, and then on this side we'll do a stripe, and then on this little tail right here we'll just put one green stripe in that. Okay. Okay, so wash your brush real quick, and let's go grab some of that red, and we will, actually let's let the green dry before we go back and fill it in with red, so we're not combining colors. Let's go work on the arm here. And there was a color that I forgot to mention, and that is brown for the stick. Let's see if I can see some comments here. Hi Paula, so excited to start these after work. Yay, yes, they're so fun. I love these little paintings. Love these little guys. Okay, so I am going to switch to my liner brush for this one. I was going to start laying it out with my bigger brush. And what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see this off to the side, but I've got a little bit of brown and some black here. And I like to just combine those two colors and kind of make a darker brown. But you could just go straight brown. You could even just have a black stick there too. Okay, so I'm going to get my liner brush and I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm just going to let my hand be quite shaky and just create this very natural looking stick using a very light pressure. Just going to drag that up, and I'm going to start by going right up to under the bird, and then we will branch off from there after we get that main branch in there. Okay, and then let's come off of that and we'll put one here using a very light pressure to get a nice thin line, and one there. Okay, and then I'm going to just kind of thicken it up as I go down, letting my hand be naturally shaky to get some nice fun little bumps and knots in this wood. And there we go. Okay, since we have the liner brush out, let's go work on his face because our green is still pretty wet. So let's go add his eyes in. They're just half circles here using the liner brush and a little bit of black paint. Put some smiley eyes in there, and then you can put any kind of mouth you want. I'm just going to use little dots, little misshapen dots for rocks to create a smile. Okay, and then on the bird, we can come in and add that black around his beak for that cardinal look. And then a little eye there. Okay, so let's add, next step, add a second coat to our beak and our carrot nose. So I'm just using my medium-sized round, and we'll put that second coat in. And then a little bit on the beak here. Make sure to not blend it in with that black. And our green is dry, so now we can go and grab that red and fill in the rest of our scarf and our hat band. Just using my medium round here, but again, use the round or brush, whatever you prefer using. Move your painting around to fit your needs as well. If turning it to the side to create a different line works better for you, then feel free to turn your little card on your workspace. There we go. Because sometimes trying to paint like this is a little bit difficult. I do it quite often in the camera, so I'm quite used to it, but it can, at first was, you know, not the most natural way to paint, so feel free to turn your stuff if you need to. Okay, so let's go fill in our stripes down here. So if you're just joining us, just a little recap of what we're doing today, in case you didn't know. We were scheduled to do a paid virtual paint party this week, and we just didn't get the response that we wanted, so we decided instead of just canceling to do it for free because we love to paint. And so why not just share all these little cards with everybody? So we are going live every day this week at noon on Redbyrd's page, Facebook page, to teach you a new little Christmas card painting. If you would like the supply list and tracers, message me, private message me, and I would be happy to send those to you. If you're a Redbyrd Retreat membership, if you're part of that VIP membership that we have, paint membership, the tracers are available in the Christmas group, Christmas card group, but I'll also make those available in the Redbyrd Retreat group here after the class. So all I'm doing is just filling in the areas that we didn't paint green with red. And we'll come in with some black liner here and help clean that up. Okay, so just a few steps left, you guys. These are so stinking cute and so easy. This is what it's gonna look like. If you're just joining us, I'll show you at the end what the other cards that we're going to be doing in the following days. Let's see, what else do I need to do here? Before we start doing some outlining, we need a little rosy cheek. So I'm going to grab my medium round. I'm going to put some white off to the side here, grab a little bit of white and a little bit of red, and create a pink. Okay, super light. And then I'm just going to add a little rosy cheek here. Just lighten it up a little bit. I want it super light. Okay? Alright, so I'm gonna find my liner brush and we're gonna fill in some, do our last steps of adding some fun highlights and some detail lines. So I'm gonna start with white in my liner brush and I'm gonna add a streak of white along the top of his hat here. And that helps just create this line that the sun is glistening off the hat maybe, and we've got some glare going on there. I'm going to also add a little white streak to the top of the rim there. We'll add a little bit of some white to the top of his nose, on the bird's back. And we can add some to the scarf as well in different areas. And then I'm also going to just add some small white streaks to the twig, just so that it's not just one color and super flat looking. Adding a little bit of white and sometimes black to different areas can really help add dimension to your elements. Okay, so we wash our brush and we're going to go back to the black and we're going to add some outlining. I'm just going to create a little line right here on the band to create a hard edge there. I'm going to create a really light line around his face here. And so when you're working with a liner brush, even though the brush is really tiny, it's still important to use a really light hand when creating outlines or trying to create an outline, because even a liner brush can create really thick lines. So for instance, if I load this up and I use a really heavy pressure, I can create a really thick line, right? So we want to make sure that when we're creating light highlighted lines, outlines, whatever, words, whatever it is, that we use a really light pressure to create that really thin line. So I've got it around his face here. I've outlined just a little bit around the nose, not a complete outline, just a couple couple black streaks there. And then I'm also going to add these little parenthesis type shapes around his nose to indicate the ridges in the carrot. So we can just create this parenthesis, little small streaks that kind of give you that illusion of some ridges in his nose. Okay, so we'll work our way down to the scarf. We'll create some black lines around the scarf to give those some nice hard edges. And then I'm not going to outline every stripe, but every other one, and again, not the entire stripe, but just something to kind of define those stripes just a little bit there. And then lastly, we will add some hard lines to the bird. And then a little black smiley face or parenthesis right here to indicate his wing. And that is it, you guys. That is our snowman Christmas card. And let me peel back my tape for the big reveal. And so after it dries, then all you would need to do is tape this to your card, and you have just made a hand-painted Christmas card that I feel would truly bless somebody this season. I really encourage you to send these out and bless somebody with your handmade cards. Make sure to sign it. See if I can find my marker. Not that one. Okay, so then you sign it, and then you grab your blank card. You apply a little adhesive to it, and there we go. Your own very own Christmas card. So, ladies, if you want to paint along with, you catch us on the replay and you want to get the tracers or the supply list, please message me. I'd be happy to share that with you. I would send those to you so that you could paint along with us and create your own Christmas cards. We are simply using just white cardstock, some blank 5x6.5 blank note cards. We do have a kit available on our website, redbyrddesign.com. Under the shop, we have a Christmas card kit, a DIY paint kit. It would come with all the supplies to make 20 cards, brush, paint, adhesive to attach these to. It would come with the cards, it would come with the envelopes, tracers, and graphite paper. So if you need the supplies and want to paint with us, go check that out. This is what we will paint this week. We've got the bells that we're going to paint, the truck and tree, the gnome, and Oh Christmas Tree. And let's just count on doing Oh Christmas Tree tomorrow. So we will meet here tomorrow at 12, Tuesday at 12 for Oh Christmas Tree. These will be available on our website or on Facebook indefinitely, so you can catch them on the replay anytime. So there we go, guys. Today we painted this. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I will let you go. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me. And I'd be happy to help, or drop them in the comments. If you're catching this on the replay, drop in the comments replay where you're watching from. If you're planning on painting these, let me know. I would love to see your progress. I would love to see your artwork throughout the week. So drop your pictures in the comments as well. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.